Escrimvese Azantes. Welcome, video lovers. Welcome to Tac Nerd 1.0. Children of the internet, we have been looking at this pistol these many days. This is the Ruger RXM. That is the Ruger and Magpul collaboration. And we've been taking a few different looks at it here and there, things to compare and contrast. I wanted today to go over a topic that seems top of mind for the gun community. One of the most common pistols that this one seems to be compared to is the PSA Dagger, which we have one of right here. So I wanted to take a look basically just at the pistols themselves. And then when we have time, there's another break in the winter.
But winter is coming.
We can get out there to the range and then test them to see how they shoot. I'm going to give you a spoiler alert, though. Most likely going to be pretty much equal. We did get out there and tested the Glock 19X and another clone, the SCT frame clone. They all pretty much are going to shoot basically the same way. There will be a few differences here, which we will go over. But let's go over just some basic things that come with the pistols. First, let's just go over some basic differences here. Now, this one is a doctor cut frame, I believe is what they called it. I never did put a red dot on there. I may never end up putting one on my RXM. I do like having the option, though, because it does future-proof your pistol if you decide to go in that route. But we can say that that is one similarity that both of these have. They both are slide cut, which is a good thing. I will say, though, that the Ruger has better options for its slide cut. It does fit more options. Now this one, again, this is the doctor cut, which I am not well versed in red dots. As I said, I don't have one. So I don't know all of the different red dots that would fit. But the Ruger does seem to have a lot more ability in that scenario. So what else? Ruger does have a loaded chamber indicator, which the PSA does not. The Ruger does come standard with very nice night sights. Comes with blacked out rear and very easy to pick up front night sights. Now, the sights that are on this PSA Dagger, I've changed these since I've had it. These do not come standard on there. This particular model came with suppressor height sights, and I will say they were pretty basic. They weren't real super great. It comes that way because this one does come, believe it or not, with a threaded barrel, which is a bonus if that's something you're looking for. That is a good bonus. As far as the triggers go, now the Ruger comes with this flat-faced trigger that is very, very Glock-like. The trigger pull is very Glock-like. We have tested this before. We'll give it another test in a minute. The PSA Dagger, on the other hand, comes with this hinged frame dagger, which is very similar in design, I would say, to a Smith & Wesson M&P. Now, when these first were coming out, I heard that they were going to have a hinged trigger, and I was ready to dump the platform because I had one of the first M&Ps out, and they're very early on, hinge triggers were terrible. They were just absolutely terrible. This one, however, is quite nice. Now there is take-up, great deal of take-up with this trigger, but it's quite nice. Your reset is very audible, very tactile. Let's put this on our trigger pull scale. Now this one's a little bit more difficult to get because of the hinge trigger. We have to try to keep it on there. And that is 4 pounds. Let's try it once more. See what it gives us. 4 pounds again. So Let's give the Ruger a try. That one is going up to 6 pounds. That one. Let's give it another try here. And that was 5.5. So the Dagger really does have a pretty nice trigger, especially for being a hinge trigger. And I found myself liking this quite a bit. I did do a video of testing these out. I did a SET 19 versus the Dagger. And I'll tell you, pretty much concluded that these were pretty nice right out of the box. I do not have a connector, a ghost connector in this. This is pretty much just as they come. So it is a really nice trigger. I would have to say that. Other features, magazines. Now, surprisingly enough, both of these come with the same magazine. The Magpul PMag, this is the PL9. Both of them come with that, so no really difference there. Now, what about the internals? So let's take a look at the inside. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut and come back because YouTube does not like you seeing anything assembled or unassembled. And just so they know, YouTube reviewer, we are not doing any upgrades of any sort to these pistols. We are not modifying them in any way. We are merely looking at the internals as described in the user manual for proper maintenance. All right, we'll be right back, folks, and we are back. So here we are. This is the slide for the PSA Dagger, and you have the slide here for the Ruger RXM. And as you can see, both, again, very, very similar. Not a whole lot of difference here between them. Both look like a Gen 3 Glock. Let's take a look on the internals of the frame. Now, we do see a bit of difference here on the Ruger as far as construction of the rails here. And then you can clearly see the Ruger has the fire control unit. So this is the part that comes out, and that is what you can take and put into a new frame, and then that can become your new pistol. Now, oddly enough, I looked in here, and I may have pointed this out in another video, I'm not sure. This trigger bar here, and then the cruciform, maybe this is some sort of coating or coloring or something. And I might preface this by saying I'm a bit colorblind, but this looks, I don't know, is it just me or is this a bit greenish in color? I'm wondering if this isn't some sort of coating, but it's definitely not silver. There's something going on with the cruciform and the trigger bar. They do seem to have some sort of coating on them. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe someone who knows more can chime in down here. As far as everything else goes, the extractors, again, other than the color, the cruciforms look pretty much the same. We're not going to pull these out and look at anything. Mag catch, these are different but similar. Really, so again, really, only difference I see is the front rail on the Ruger. And then again, the Ruger does have the fire control unit. Now that in and of itself, I think, in my opinion anyways, that is what really sets this pistol apart. I believe that's also what sets this ahead of any of the other clones that are out there. And I've spoken about this before in my videos. This is the future-proofing technology that really, that's really why you should be, in my belief, why you should be choosing this pistol above all the other clones, or I hate to say it, but really even above the Glock 19 at this point, because you're going to say, in the long run, you're going to save yourself a whole lot of money because you can take this one pistol if you are a person who is not in a position to collect firearms, but you do need a different style of pistol for different reasons. Maybe you just want to carry this, but you also want to have something at home to defend your home. Then, you can get the 17 frame when that comes out, or if they eventually do make a 35, you'd be able to do that. With the Dagger, you're pretty much just stuck at buying a whole, to be quite honest, you're stuck at buying a whole new pistol. So really, I think that is the killer app here. let's take a look. I am very curious, and I'm sure you are too, to see if these slides fit on each other. And again, I cannot show you that doing it, but I can show you the results. So we're going to take another little break here. Folks, we're back. And believe it or not, it looks like everything fits. This is the PSA Dagger with the Ruger RXM slide. Seems to function just fine. Let's give it a try. Again, no issue. Seems like a pretty much standard Gen 3 clone. Let's try the Ruger. We are clear. No issue there. No issue. So looks like pretty much we've got parts interchangeability between these two. Really not a whole lot of differences, as I said. And maybe with a better trigger, you may see slight difference in speed, but in reliability and accuracy, I kind of doubt we're going to see anything. All right, we're going to put these back the way they should be, and then I'm going to close this with my final thoughts. Folks, we're back. So in closing, what do I think? At least in my opinion, what is the king here? What is the what one should you buy? Well, I think you should do your own research, see what you think your best need is, and then get that. If you want my opinion, though, I think that's gonna be pretty obvious. It's gonna be the Ruger XRM. I do think even it does come with more features, I think, even than the Dagger. I don't see any of the Daggers that come with standardized night sights. That is a big plus because sights are expensive. If you want something like this, if you want Ameriglows, it's going to cost you probably $70, $75. You could add another $75 onto this. That's what you're going to spend if you want to get it to the same spot. Plus, you're never going to get to the same spot of having that fire control unit. So there's your issue there. Now, as far as price goes, I did look up prices on these. Similar Dagger to this one at this point is going to run you probably about 360 quatlus. And the MSRP on the Ruger RXM is $499. Now, that's quite a bit more, but I can tell you as far as that is the MSRP. Real world, the prices that we're seeing for these are much, much lower. I would say bare minimum that you're going to find this is 400 quatlus. And I've even seen people on my videos have chimed in and said they've gotten them as low as, I think we had one person said they saw one as low as 329 quatlus. That's quite the discount. I think Ruger is probably going to flood the market with these. They're very easy for them to make. Quite honestly, Magpul is helping them with the frame. All they're really doing is the slide. Most of the design work is already done because it's just a Glock 19. So this is going to be an extremely easy pistol for them to produce, so they can afford to really dump them for pretty cheap. So the other issue, again, as I said, you are getting night sights right out of the box that you don't have to replace where you probably would on this one. So any difference in price from $399 to $369, that's going to get eaten up by the sights anyways. So I think in the end, I still think the Ruger is your best bet. You get everything you need. You get a fully customized Glock 19 clone. The only thing you really don't get is a somewhat lighter trigger. Folks, I think that is our conclusion. That's enough for today. I hope you got something out of this video. I hope you agree. If you agree or disagree, please leave a message down below in the doobly-doo. Let us know your thoughts. Are you a PSA person? Are you a Ruger person? Are you a both person? Let us know your thoughts. And on the way out today, if you would you please like, share, and subscribe? And don't forget to fire off around at that bell notification. And folks, if you believe you have been so entertained,
Are you not entertained?
please consider leaving us a super thanks and consider joining up with our membership, where you will learn the nerd way of surviving the great apocalypse. Folks, I am Tack Nerd, and I am out of here.